My name is Marco Marks, and I work for the government here in San Diego. So I'm a government contractor at a place called Spaywar. Well, it used to be called Spaywar. It's called Navwar now, in Old Town San Diego. I got into that from getting out of the Marines, and I kept my clearance when I got out of the Marines in 2017. Before I joined the Marines, I lived in a rural area. Not growing up, I'm from Chicago, but for high school, I like strategy games. I love science and space. I mean, the reason I joined the military at all was, like I said, we moved to a very rural area, and there weren't many opportunities there. I didn't want to start going to school there. It was like, I think I'd rather get out of here, see the world. And so that's the reason I joined, to get out of there. The reason I chose the Marine Corps was because I just wanted the most challenge. I figured the hardest challenge that you could possibly get would shape your character in the best way, it'll shape your character the most. And that was the reason I picked the Marine Corps. It's a crazy time. Through boot camp, it's really challenging at first. Someone's counting down numbers and you gotta put your clothes on by the time they're done. And they're going fast. So it's really stressful at first, and it's a whole new world. The fleet, however, you get to the fleet, and that's where you kind of become an adult again. The way it really works is 10-hour days are usual. That's the average. And after work, you change into your clothes, whatever you want to wear, and you can leave base, do whatever, go do whatever, You don't have to come back if you don't want to. Hell, I lived in Japan. That's how my life changed. I got sent out of the country, and so they arranged it so that I got sent to Japan. Yeah, I was sent to Okinawa, Japan. So that's one way my life really changed. You're an adult, you got to do your own thing. In Japan, things were a little different. I think anywhere else in the world that Marines could be stationed, especially America, there was a curfew in Japan. There's not anywhere else. But anyway, the point is, in Japan, you had to be back on base by midnight. I'd wake up, I'd get on this bus that was on base. It was just a bus that, circled base. If you didn't have a car, especially in Japan, you had to get a certain, it was just a privilege out there in another country to get a license, because then you could drive down Japan streets and, So I took the bus my entire time in Japan. And so I'd get on the bus in the morning and it'd take me to work. We'd have our morning exercise, or we'd have afternoon exercise, just depending on the day. I worked in a warehouse that we had a warehouse, and we had some computers and whatnot in it, because we had a management database for all the support equipment. It was used to work on aircraft and stuff. You get off work and you go to the chow hall, or you go home. Some people don't even bother with the chow hall. It technically comes out of your pay, so you're paying for it. But some people get too used to eating Subway and whatever else junk is on base. Like being a college student, except you got money and you got a job. So I had a couple staff sergeants that these guys they'd get away with murder for the most part, yelling and screaming for no real good reasons. The kind of guys that come in late to work, and they're leaving before everyone. But it's staff sergeant, you can't tell them anything. And staff sergeant and gunnery sergeant are cool, so it's not like gunny cares, because they get their work done or whatever. It's just in the Marine Corps, when you're being brought up, you're told, good leadership leads as people, right? And so it's like, I'll be the first to show up to work and I'll be the last to leave. Like, my Marines will see me here already when they get here. They'll know I was already here working, and then when they leave, I'll still be here. That's good leadership. So in the Marine Corps, I guess one of the hard things for me was just biting my tongue and swallowing that pill. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I kept my secret clearance. My job required it, and not everybody gets one, but luckily I had a secret clearance. And so little did I know, you get out of the Marine Corps, or you get out of the military. If you live in a city that has a lot of government and military presence, then you've got a good job opportunity. So I was lucky because I did not have to go to college right away. Well, a private contracting firm that the government, contracts out for work, and their employees are government employees except for contractors. I got picked up in 2018 in January, about 6 months after I got out of the Marine Corps, due to my secret clearance. The salary I was offered, it was just like mind-boggling to me at the time, because it's like I don't have a degree, and I've learned over the years that it's kind of a game. You know, these companies, they get paid a little bit more money. Like whatever they're paying me, the company, they're getting more for me from the government. So if I'm getting paid $60K, then they're getting $65K for me from the government, and that's how they make their money, you know, here and there. Had I not had the job that I had in the Marine Corps, you know, good chance I wouldn't have a secret clearance. And if I didn't have a secret clearance, getting out of the Marine Corps in San Diego, you know, really pricey place to live, especially if you're living alone. So that secret clearance really helped. Otherwise, I would have had to jump straight into school and, you know, get a bunch of roommates, just live like that for a while. But luckily, I didn't have to.